Stardew Valley has a large cast of lovable and not so lovable characters, and when you're in a small town like Pelican Town, naturally those people are going to get attracted to other people.
Hey.
So, today we'll be ranking all the couples that reside in the valley. This video took me a long time to make, and largely due to procrastination, but it was also just really hard to edit. So I hope you enjoy, and with that, let's get into the video.
Well, as I said, we are on Tier Maker, Stardew Valley couples ranked, and we have 15 in-game pairings. Some of them aren't like hinted in the game, they're more like fan hinted, and then the rest of them are like actual, they're either married or they're bachelorette and bachelor pairings if the farmer doesn't choose to marry them. Here are our 5 rankings. We have I Would Third Wheel for Life, they're cute together, y'all are dating, she could do better, and then should never ever be together. Let's start off with Marty and Lewis. Marty and Lewis, they have it's hinted throughout the game that they're a thing. Jazz's playroom, the grandpa's hiding under the bed, Marty has purple shorts, there's the cutscene where Lewis is talking about how people finding out about the relationship will undermine his authority in the town, even though that doesn't really make that much sense. I feel bad for Marty, because I wish she'd find love, but at the same time, I think she can do a lot better because Lewis is like being a little bit too controlling, and I don't like the fact that he's just trying to keep it a secret and not like showing everyone like, hey, we're happy together, like being normal about it. He's being really weird about it, and I don't really like that. So Marty can do a lot better than Lewis, or Lewis can do a better job about handling the relationship than just keeping it a secret. Emily and Sandy. Now, out of the 3 Emily couples that are on the list, this is the best one. They would be cute together. They would be a cute couple. With like the other 2, I don't really see Emily be all happy or excited about it. If I'm wrong, the only times I see Emily with Shane is literally at the saloon where he is drinking a beer. And 2 cutscenes, one which is a Clint cutscene, and one which is Shane shooting the the video for the Joja competition. This is the only one where I really see that both parties will be happy and it makes sense. The other 2 don't quite make as much sense to me. I feel like this weird in-game pairing is just because these are the later 2 bachelors and bachelorettes that were added after the fact. They were both voted on, so that's the only reason I think this is the best Emily couple. Caroline and the Wizard. It's implied that Caroline had an affair with the Wizard and they produced Abigail. So I'm going to put them in the middle because it's kind of a weird situation, like y'all are dating or like y'all did this, really? I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, Caroline's into like magical green tea juice, tea in quotation marks. One of the only positives I see is the Wizard like trying to move on from his divorce with the witch, which I forgot to add in this list. I would put them in they should never be together again. But with Caroline, it makes their marriage seem a lot worse, and we'll get to that in a bit. But they're like a weird tweener zone. Marlin and Marne, they're kind of the same, but they're better. This is literally Marne doing better than Lewis, but I feel like the town would be a little bit confused because Marlin, in my opinion, Marlin needed a lot more involvement in the town, and that's why I liked him in Expanded, because he's actually talking to people and not just chilling in his place with Gil, but in the the flower dance. You talk to Marlin and he comments on Marnie's attractiveness, and that's why people kind of hint them as a thing. I feel like it would work, but it could also not work at the same time. It's another weird tweener one, but certainly a lot better than the controlling Mr. Lewis. Clint and Emily. They should never ever be together. There's a reason I made Emily's portrait the sad one and not the happy one that she's in the other ones. No, Clint and Emily should not be together. It would be awkward from the start. Clint would mess it up somehow, and Emily would just feel uncomfortable and weird throughout the entirety of it. They should never ever be together. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. Alright, Penny and Sam. Penny and Sam's kind of weird. I feel like their personalities kind of clash a little bit, with the main child kind of still holding on to the teenage years compared to a teacher or someone that's more into the books, not really as rad as Sam is. But I would think they're a cute couple. Not as cute as Emily and Sandy, but they're like they would be a good couple. Abigail and Sebastian. This is going to be one of the few only I would third wheel for life, because I feel like the pairing is just a really great pairing. Both rebels. Abigail's wanting to get away from her somewhat controlling parents and their, I would say, unhappy-ish marriage, just because of like some cutscenes and the fact that her mother literally had an affair to make her. But and so was Sebastian, with his father not being there for him, being replaced by this bub.
That's too much neglection there, bub.
Who kind of neglects him and doesn't really care about him and only cares about Maru. Out of all the in-game pairings, this one is by far one of my favorites, because it just makes the most sense. I would like to third wheel him, just listening to punk bands like Green Day or just jamming out or something. Maru and Harvey. This is another kind of easy one. They're cute together, cuter than these two. They're like the nerdy couple, and I like nerds. I am a nerd. It's in my name. With Maru and Harvey, she's a genius. She's working as a nurse and is a engineer and an inventor. And he's a doctor who's into planes, which requires engineers to build. So like their interests match each other. Honestly, I would third wheel them. I mean, they would be a great couple. He would be a loving husband figure to her. The only thing I find weird is that they're co-workers. That's the only thing. Other than that, they're an S tier couple. Leah and Elliot. They should never be together because Leah should only marry the farmer, and the farmer only. Okay, I'm joking. In all seriousness, similar to these two, they're a great pairing. I don't like them together nearly as much as these two. Partially because it's Leah, but also partially because it's Elliot, and I really don't care for Elliot that much, but it makes sense why they're dating. They're the artist of the town. She's more traditional artist with like sculpting and painting, and he's a writer and a thinker, a ponderer, if you will. I find it really nice that Elliot has one of her paintings, and they go on regular evening drinks on Fridays at the saloon. So it already feels like they're kind of dating once you get into the valley for the first time. I just don't think I would third wheel them. I think they'd just be a cute couple. Emily and Shane. Honestly, I don't think it makes that much sense. I don't think their personalities really match. It just doesn't seem as natural with the other ones. And honestly, you can go either way, but I feel like it would go a lot more south due to Shane's nature, unless Emily was to like bring him back to the light or show him the better things of life, which she probably could. I just don't know which way it would go. Robin and Demetrius. She can do way, way better, man. He neglects her son. Like, okay, if you're gonna marry a widow who has a son, at least respect or like try to love the dude. But no, he only cares about his daughter. Granted, I do wish Robin was a marriage candidate or could marry her, but at the same time, I feel like Demetrius just really doesn't care that much. Not the best couple. Pierre and Caroline. Honestly, it's worse than these two. I feel like she literally had an affair with the wizard.
A wizard.
And he is so work obsessed. He's a workaholic. Multiple times, Caroline mentions that and she feels sad about it, it just doesn't seem like a happy marriage at all. There's an affair. He's a workaholic, which is probably why she had the affair in the first place. Yeah, they're just honestly not a really good couple, in my opinion. I feel like she could do a lot better than Pierre. Kent and Jody, they're super cute together. They're the best couple with a MILF in it. Both are loyal, and she actually tries to help her husband with like his PTSD returning from the war after year 2, and he seems to care a lot more about her than like Demetrius cares about Robin or Pierre cares about Caroline. And for that reason, I feel like they're one of the better adult couples rather than like the Bachelorettes, because they just seem to care so much more than the other ones. However, one couple that I would say cares a lot more about each other is Evelyn and George. I love this couple. Evelyn is so sweet and caring of George, and George is loyal and cares deeply about Evelyn. The sad thing is, due to his disability, he can't do as much as he could or wants to for Evelyn. Like Evelyn mentions, back when George was younger, he would fix this roof in a jiff or something when it's raining in town, and that just shows how much heart George has for her still, even after old age and not being able to use his legs anymore. And they're one of, if not the best couple. Nah, screw it. I would third wheel them for life. I'm going to just hang out with them forever. Now, Alex and Haley. They're cute. I'm going to put them right here. They're by far the most cliche couple. High school, jock type, Miss Popular, spoiled girl. But another reason I think they're very cute together is because, like, behind those cliches, there's a deeper story. Like, Haley having her parents leave her and trying to, like, change to, like, actually caring a lot more about people. And then Alex's trauma about his father abandoning him and his mother passing away, having to live with George and Evelyn, and shaping him to be a better man and pursue his goals. I feel like they would have deeper conversations about that, which honestly just sounds like a relationship, and I wouldn't know much about those. But I think Alex and Haley are very cute together. And with that, that is my tier list. I'll put the link to this in the description of the video, so y'all can make your own tier list and have your own opinions. I won't judge unless you put Clint and Emily higher than should never ever be together. Then I'll have a little tiny problem.
Well, that's all the couples ranked. Keep in mind, it is just an opinion. These long form videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so I appreciate the support. If you can't tell, my videos aren't scripted at all. I might do scripts in the future. If you enjoyed, I'm glad you did. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and nerd on.